The rain had been falling since dawn, the kind that soaks through your shoes no matter how fast you walk. Emma Lewis tightened her old brown coat around her shivering body as she hurried across the cracked pavement toward the little cafe on the corner of Maple and 3rd. The Daily Grind had become her only 5-minute escape from a life that hadn't given her much time to breathe. She pushed open the door, and the bell above it chimed faintly. The scent of roasted coffee beans hit her like warmth after a long winter. Emma loved that smell. It reminded her of better days when her husband, David, would bring home fresh donuts for their daughter Lily after long night shifts at the fire station. Those days had disappeared 3 years ago in a flash of sirens and smoke. Since then, life had been a steady climb up an invisible mountain, every step heavier than the last. Emma now worked double shifts at a local diner and cleaned houses on weekends. Her shoes had holes, her coat zipper was broken, and her car had died last winter. But she had Lily, her little 7-year-old dreamer who believed every rainbow had her daddy's laughter hiding in it. That faith alone kept Emma moving forward, one tired smile at a time. As she stood in line, counting coins in her palm, she whispered a quiet prayer that the rain would stop before her next bus. Behind her, a tall man in a dark blue suit waited silently, holding nothing but a phone and a distant look in his gray eyes. He seemed out of place here, like someone who had stumbled into the wrong part of town. His coat was perfectly pressed, his shoes spotless, his watch gleaming beneath the cafe lights. When it was Emma's turn, she ordered the cheapest coffee on the menu, a small black drip. It cost 2.10. She had 2.40 left after rent, groceries, and Lily's school lunch. Just enough. As she handed over the coins, the barista sighed impatiently. Emma offered an apologetic smile, but then she heard a voice behind her. "Mom." She turned. The man in the suit had reached into his pockets and frowned slightly. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I seem to have left my wallet in my car." Emma blinked, unsure if he was speaking to her or to himself. I can cover it," she blurted before she could stop herself. The man looked surprised. "Oh, no, that's really not necessary." "Please," Emma said, with that small, gentle insistence only people who have known real struggle can carry. "It's just a coffee. Everyone needs one of those." She smiled, awkward but genuine, and handed the barista another 2 crumpled bills. The man hesitated, studying her face, the faint tired lines beneath her eyes, the sincerity that glowed brighter than her worn coat. "Thank you," he said softly. "You didn't have to." Emma shrugged. "Maybe not. But someone once told me kindness doesn't check bank accounts." He smiled faintly, nodded, and walked out with his coffee as if lost in thought. That night, Emma tucked Lily into bed with a story about angels who lived in clouds and watched over kind people. Lily giggled and asked if angels drank coffee too. Emma laughed softly and said, "Maybe the tired ones do." Then she kissed her daughter's forehead, turned off the lamp, and sat by the window. The rain had stopped. The street outside shimmered beneath the moonlight, puddles reflecting the quiet beauty of survival. The next morning began like every other. Emma packing Lily's lunch, brushing her hair, reminding her to wear her pink mittens. The world was ordinary, until it wasn't. At exactly 9:17 a.m., the sound of blades slicing through the sky shook the still air. Emma rushed outside, shielding her eyes as a helicopter hovered low over her small backyard. Neighbors peeked out of windows. The sheer noise rattled her heart. The chopper slowly descended, its wind whipping her hair into chaos. When it landed, a man stepped out. The same man from the cafe. He wasn't in a suit this time. He was in jeans and a simple gray sweater, his eyes searching for her. Behind him, 2 other men carried large black cases with official-looking seals. Emma froze, her breath caught somewhere between disbelief and fear. What is this?" The man smiled faintly, walking closer. "Ems Lewis," he called over the fading roar of the rotors. "Yes," she shouted back, her voice trembling. "My name is James Hartman," he said, extending a hand. "Yesterday morning, you bought me a coffee. I didn't tell you who I was because I didn't think I'd need to. But your kindness didn't leave my mind all day. I went back to that cafe to find you, but they said you'd already left. So I did some searching," and Emma blinked, her heart pounding. "Searching? Why?" James hesitated, then spoke in a tone that was both calm and deeply personal. "I'm the CEO of Hartman Enterprises. We own the factory 2 towns over, the one that closed last winter. Emma's mouth fell open slightly. That closure had cost hundreds of people their jobs. People like her brother, her neighbor, everyone she knew. James continued, his voice steady but warm. I've been traveling anonymously across the state to understand what people go through. The people behind the numbers. And yesterday, when you paid for my coffee with money I now realize you probably needed more than I did, you reminded me of something I'd forgotten. He stepped closer, his eyes kind now, almost tender. You reminded me what humanity looks like when no one's watching. Behind him, the 2 men opened one of the black cases. Inside were papers, thick envelopes, and a shiny set of keys. This, James said, pointing, is for you. Emma's breath hitched. For me. He nodded. You told me kindness doesn't check bank accounts. Well, it turns out, neither should opportunity. I've purchased the old factory grounds and converted them into a new production center. We'll be hiring again, starting with you. A full-time position benefits the works. But that's not all. He handed her the keys. These belong to a small 2-bedroom home just outside town. Consider it a thank you for reminding me that good people still exist. Emma stared, speechless, tears brimming in her eyes. Her trembling hands took the keys like they were made of light. I don't know what to say. James smiled. You already said it yesterday, with $2 and a kind heart. For a long moment, the world seemed to stand still. The neighbors had gathered now, watching as the helicopter blades slowed, their faces stunned by the sight of a single mother standing before a billionaire who'd come back for her kindness. Lily ran outside, clutching her toy rabbit. Mommy, is that your new friend? Emma laughed through her tears. Something like that, sweetie. James knelt down to the little girl's level. Hey there. Do you like helicopters? Lily's eyes widened. Can we fly in it? James chuckled. Maybe one day. But right now, your mom's gonna have her hands full with a new house to decorate. Emma covered her mouth, trying to steady her emotions. The last time she'd cried this hard was when she lost everything. But this time, her tears carried warmth. Hope. Grace. The sound of the helicopter preparing to lift again filled the air as James turned to leave. Before stepping aboard, he looked back once more. Never underestimate what one small act of kindness can do, he said, his voice nearly drowned by the rotors. You changed more than my morning, Ms. Lewis. You changed my heart. And then he was gone, rising into the sky, leaving behind nothing but the smell of jet fuel, the rustle of papers in Emma's trembling hands, and the echo of something she hadn't felt in years possibility. That night, after tucking Lily into bed, Emma sat again by the window. Only this time, she wasn't staring at the rain. She was looking at a sky wide open, stars glinting like promises waiting to be kept. Her coffee cup sat beside her, steam curling into the quiet air. On its rim was a faint lipstick mark, hers, and a memory of a morning that changed everything.